When it comes to social media marketing, we are really, really focused on building an audience. That's what it's all about. Today, we're going to talk about that. And we've got a special guest with us, Stefan Lubinski. So let's get started. Welcome to the Mortgage Loan Officer Podcast, hosted by me, Frank Array, gizmos and gadgets and more, of course. Today, I'm joined by a really good friend of mine, Stefan Lubinski. And Stefan Lubinski was very instrumental in the early days of the National Real Estate Post and Think Big, Work Small guys. So if you know me from the National Real Estate Post, Think Big, Work Small way back then, Stefan Lubinski was very instrumental in helping us get launched, get started, pointing us in a good direction. So I've known Stefan for a long time. I've always been really impressed with Stefan. He's brilliant in audience building. In fact, the company he's representing today or is part of or owns is Audience Builders. And so I wanted to talk to you, Stefan, today. First of all, hello, welcome to the podcast. How are you?
Hello, Frank. How are you? Great to be here. Thank you so much. And you were too kind with the intro, but I really appreciate it.
Well, dude, well deserved. You were a big part of us. And so that has to be recognized. But let's move on. So, Stefan, let's just get right to the nuts and bolts of this. We had a little bit of a conversation in the green room, as it were, but I do want to get right to the point because I like doing that for people. We were talking about with the marketing animals, mortgage marketing animals, we are big believers in Facebook marketing, but we believe in doing it in a particular way. Right? Because we like to do things as efficiently and as effectively as possible. And so through the years of doing this, Carl White and the team over there, they've really figured out the best way to accomplish Facebook marketing, to accomplish getting results from Facebook marketing is really through the custom audience feature. And the custom audience feature, if you're not familiar, guys, is you can take your database of all your past clients, your family, your friends, put it into a CSV file. You can literally upload it to Facebook. Facebook goes out and finds all those people on Facebook, and that becomes a custom audience for you. You can name it whatever you want to name it. And so now when you make a post or, put together an advertisement, something like that, you can select when you make that post who you would like to see it. And your custom audiences will be there. And you can say, well, I would like these people to see it. And then only those people see your post. In fact, all those people will see your post. So a lot of times we of course talk about putting our past clients in there, Stefan, and our client database, but also our realtor partners as well. We get a list together of our real estate partners, those who we do work with, those who we'd like to work with. We teach to upload that into a custom audience and then to post throughout the week, maybe once, twice, 3 times a week to those specific audiences. And we've found that generally does actually create a result. We get some business out of that because these are people who already know us. They like us. They're seeing our face. We're not wasting money if we're putting money behind it on people that don't know us. We're getting in front of the people that do know us. So it's just really, really effective. However, Stefan, what I wanted to bring you on for is sometimes that all sounds great. The concept's easy. Getting a list uploaded is a piece of cake, right? We can do all that kind of stuff. But the hard part is what do we talk about, right? What do we send out there? How do we build it even more, right? And that's why I wanted to get you on because you've got such great ideas and they're easy to implement ideas. For some, for some, super easy. For other stuff you're going to talk about, maybe a little more complex, but there's a lot of people who would love to participate in that. Give us some pointers here. What can we post into these custom audiences?
I have so much to say. The first thing I want to say is you are making such a big impact with one focal strategy, which is frequency. And I want to let everybody know that in the advertising game, the 2 words that you hear all the time are reach and frequency. And that is the CPM game, the cost per thousand. That's how ads are bought: television, radio, digital. But what I'll tell you, what I like to tell people is that frequency trumps reach. Your brand, yourself, your message, your likability, your content has got to be in front of people multiple times, ongoing basis, not just infrequently. It's why you do and what you have done so well for so many years, Frank, which is to create content of value for a specific audience. And you continue to show up day in and day out, week in and week out, year in and year out. And over the years, you've built one of the largest lists, audiences of people in a particular industry, in the real estate industry. So number one, everybody listening, if all you did was take away the idea that custom audiences are the most powerful way to increase your business, the most dramatic way, it is simply because of the power of frequency. And of course, what you talked about was segmenting those custom audiences so that when you're developing content for referral partners, that it's relevant to them. They're not sifting through content that's right for kind of a borrower or an end user, right? So you want to really segment those audiences. So absolutely fantastic. All right, so let's get to what your question was, which is, what do you create? Well, the answer is this. It's going to be different for everybody, because what I just said is really the sauce. It's the frequency and the commitment to consistency. That is to say that in all of social media marketing, other than direct marketing, that is, this thing is for sale, here's the sale price, click here and buy it now. That's direct sales, direct marketing. Outside of that, when you're selling services like this, we have to commit to showing up consistently, and we have to deliver value. Because if we're just creating content that's promotional value, if we're just creating content that is about me, nobody really cares about me. And we all know this, but we don't practice it, right? So what I really encourage people to do is do what I should do. Take a pause, take a breath, open up a mind map, and start working backwards from what you think your audience really wants and what is valuable. So I'm going to talk to you about two paths you can go down. All right. So questions, comments, concerns about anything that I've just said?
No, so far I'm digging it, and I've already learned something from you, because I respect what you say, because I know what you've done. And guys, listen to what Stefan is saying, because this guy has helped build audiences for some big people out there, and he's done a fabulous job. I love the fact that you said frequency trumps everything. So we have to do things several times, right? It's not just one post. What I'm gathering from that is I can't just do one post a week and think I'm going to build up this crazy mad audience. I got to kind of be more consistent with that, right? I got to do more.
You absolutely have to. And I'll tell you the other reason why, guys, is that even if you're putting ad budget behind your custom audience, it's not 100% reach with each person. And even if it gets into their feed, you know that people are scrolling past your stuff all the time. So let's get real. Every time that you're creating content, a portion of your audience is seeing it, not the totality of it.
Okay.
And so in order for everybody to get the frequency they need, okay. And by the way, let's talk about why that frequency is important, because the buyer's journey is the same here as it is for toothpaste, right? That is, it doesn't matter what you're searching for. First, it starts with, I have a problem, and then you go searching for a solution, and then you go searching for a provider of that solution. Before I pick Crest, I decide what I need is toothpaste because I've got this problem. My teeth are dirty, and so I'm going to need toothpaste. Then I decide, now I got to think, is it Crest or Colgate or whatever? And so we have to take people from awareness, like they don't know us. So let's talk about that for a second. So there's a buyer's journey of buying into Stefan. Somebody doesn't know Stefan at all. I'm going to put some content out there, and hopefully it's going to be compelling content, maybe a controversial title, something like that, get their attention. Hopefully they kind of like my personality or something like that a little bit, enough so that they're going to check in with the next time that I create some content, and the next time I create some content. I'm moving them from, I don't know Stefan, to, I think I kind of like this guy. And over time, without even necessarily having done business, there can be a growing sense of trust. I'm not suggesting that you can take everybody all the way through to the full trust threshold through content marketing, but I am saying that you can get pretty far down that road. And at that point, I think they're ready on an intent aspect to start going to calls to action, which are to take a call with you, to meet with you, to listen to what it is that you're going to propose for them, et cetera. So let's talk about, again, specifically what can people do? Because I've just talked a lot about theory, but I wanted the why so that people go, shit, I get it. So now I really want to do this, right? I'm in. So how do you stay consistent? One path is passion. So I'm going to tell you about a guy who is a car salesman. I don't remember what town, so make up any town that you like. And he's working at this dealership, and he's trying to bring in customers through Facebook, through content, like all of you. And of course, every other car dealer is creating content about what? About cars, about car maintenance, about windshield wipers, about tires, who knows?
Yeah.
This guy is basically exclusively writing about high school and middle school sports.
Interesting.
Because there was a gap in that town in terms of coverage. There was no paper was covering whatever it is. And listen, parents and cousins and nephews and whatever interested parties in the public wanted to hear about these sports. And so he had a tremendous amount of traffic coming to this Facebook, engaging, and he was answering questions, and they were like, this is fantastic, or that is terrible, or whatever was doing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Over time, they just got to like Bob. I don't know if Bob was his name, but they like Bob. And I'm not suggesting they were going to go from Chevy to Ford, ladies and gentlemen. What I am saying is, of the Ford buyers in the area, where they could go to multiple dealerships, where they could go to a competitor of his is Ford, because I don't believe Chevy is necessarily a competitor if you're brand loyal. And so he would bring in the people that would have gone somewhere else that were indifferent. And why? Because they felt they knew him and they liked him, which kind of felt like he was a friend.
Right.
Right. So let's get out of calling people prospects, and why don't we start getting into the friend acquisition business? Because I really believe at the end of the day, you called me to do this podcast because we're friends.
That's right.
And you do business with me because we're friends.
Correct.
And I'm saying that we should be in the friend gathering business, all of us.
I love that.
We should be in the friend gathering business.
I love it.
And so the way that we do that is to share things we're passionate about. That's one path I'm going to say to you, that what can I do? That guy was passionate about local sports. Are you a gardener? Are you a master gardener? Do you love motorcycles like Frank does?
Yes.
You know, are there things that you could share? Like if Frank was sharing the best cheeseburgers along the road for motorcyclers to eat, that would be some pretty cool content. You know what I mean? For motorcycle, I'm not a motorcycle, but I love cheeseburgers, and I'd probably watch it anyway.
Right.
So what is it that you're passionate about? Why is that important? Because you'll show up. Because you'll be consistent. If you love motorcycles, you'll talk about them all the time. Now, I don't want to get so specific to go, well, then great. All my people have got to be motorcycle lovers. I'm saying you can cultivate an audience. By the way, if you were doing all the loans in your area for all the motorcycle lovers, pretty sure you
would that be so bad?
Yeah, would that be so bad? Okay. If you were doing the podcast of just the dry cleaning industry. I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like ultra niche. I want to give you the other path real quick. So questions, comments, concerns before I
no, but I tell you what, we are going to take a quick commercial break. We'll come right back. So we'll be right back, guys. All right. We are back with Stefan Lubinski, and we were going to go down the second path. The first path we were talking about is passion, right? Passion, things that you're passionate about. Okay. What's the next path? Where are we at?
And by the way, I want to add to that. I'm not suggesting that you won't also create valuable content that's informing people about the rate changes that are going on, or other things that are but again, is it valuable or is it promotional? Is it looking outward to your audience and valuable to them, or is it really just because you needed to get that little promotion and it was about me? And if it is, stop that. Okay, let's move on to part two. And this one is what I'm doing with my startup clients and my SaaS clients. Okay, these are, startups and companies, but it's working the same way that it would work for a loan officer. And I just love this one. This is the interview to growth strategy.
Interview to growth strategy.
Yep. And here's what it is. It is a two objective simultaneous strategy, which is super rare. That is to say, it's going to satisfy a long-term marketing strategy and at the same time, a short-term business development goal, I should say, at the same time. Short-term and long-term, same time. Here's the way it looks. So we all know that interviewing is such a great way to create content because, number one, you don't have to be the expert about everything, right? And you can bring a diversity of guests who have valuable things to say to your audience, always through that lens, by the way, always through the lens of, is this valuable to my audience? And if you go, God, I don't know if I'm connecting the dots here, then that shouldn't be a guest. Right. So
exactly what we're doing right this second.
100%. So now valuable to the guest. So now you're interviewing them and you are bringing value to you. Of course, they are going to share the episode that they were the guest on. So they just dragged you into their sphere, which is unbelievable from a growth perspective, right? That's like audience hijacking, right? But forget that. That's just the normal stuff. Now I'm going to turn it from a 10 to 11, like in that, what was that movie?
Spinal Tap?
Spinal Tap. Okay, let's go to 11.
There's a sequel coming out?
Yes, 40 years later, which is insane. And I'll be there. Okay, so this is the little, hopefully none of the guests of my SaaS clients hear this. Okay. What I'm about to share. Here we go.
All right. Let's go.
So instead of just finding experts and thought leaders, what we call subject matter experts, to interview for your audience to create value, I'm going to suggest that you strategically invite guests with whom you do not have a relationship, who are in fact high-level connectors in your area of influence, and themselves could be a referral partner or a client.
Okay.
And so
give me an example.
Let me play this out for you. So
Okay.
I've got a client in the SaaS space, and they do software as a service and it's high ticket. And there are people in the C-suite in that industry that they don't have a relationship with. They'd love to have a relationship with them, because if they did, they could either partner or they could directly sell their product or whatever it may be. Okay, they're going to move their ball down the field. So what we do is you create a show where we're going to ensure that these C-level executives are sharing content that really exemplifies how much of an expert they are, how smart they are, what great leadership that they have in the industry. Okay. And we're going to have this 30-minute interview with them where they're going to just share about all the great things their company's doing and that they're doing, where they came from, what they believe, whatever's doing, who cares? And so it's all good stuff. And then this is the important part, folks. We're going to cut that up into snippets. And those snippets are going to be making sure that Bob over here looks real good. Bob sounds good. Bob looks good. And that was a real smart question and a great answer and super valuable for everybody. And we wanted to make sure everybody read it. We put captions on it because 70% of social content that's video is not viewed with audio. So we're making sure there's captions. We're going to put a background on it, make it look beautiful, make it pop. You know why? Because we want people to see it. And we want Bob to think it's really pretty and makes him look smart. And guess what Bob's going to do? Bob is going to share it, which is amazing because Bob knows a lot of people that are like Bob.
Right.
Influential CMOs in the same, or CEO, or whatever they are, and they're going to see it, and they're going to drag my client into meeting them via that video. But here's what's much more important, and this is what I say when I'm pitching this. Let me ask you this. After you did the pre-production call with them, after you then produced the episode, after you made it look really good and you sent it to them and thanked them so much, and you shared it and you tagged them and you made them look like a hero, let me ask you this. A week later, a month later, whenever, can you pick up the phone and say, hey, Bob, I got this thing I want to show you?
I would think so.
Take that call? Yeah. He's going to take that call. So what I say to the client is, what you're paying for is the relationship acquisition strategy. The thought leadership content, that's exhaust, right? Now, let me blow your mind. Last thing, and then you ask me whatever, and I'll shut up.
Okay.
Last thing, just to blow your mind about how to tie this all together. One of the biggest challenges for my executives, and I'm sure it's the same for a busy loan officer, is they don't have time to think about what to create the content, to upload it to all these different places. Like to do all of this is almost insurmountable. Okay. Yes. And so they throw their hands up and say, I'd rather just do ads or whatever. And it costs what it costs and I get what I get, but I don't have time to be creating all of this fakakta content. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's why this interview method is so fantastic. When you do a 30-minute interview where you're not doing the heavy lifting, like Frank's not doing the heavy lifting right now.
Nope.
Right? I'm carrying this content.
Easy on my part.
The expert is going to do that for you. And so now they did the heavy lifting of the content. Here's what you're going to do. This is so great. And you could do that on a Saturday night or a Friday evening or Thursday evenings or whatever it is that's convenient, or mornings at 7 a.m., whatever it's doing. So here's what you do. You take this 30-minute episode and you not only chop it up into 4 or 5 snippets, you transcribe it into a cleaned up transcription, which is a blog post. You cut the blog post up to the best quotes and you create quote memes, and you take the audio and you make it a podcast. So you take one video. Now you've got 4 video clips, 4 audiograms, which are audio clips for the people that are into podcasts. And you've got these 4 quote memes. And why is this important? 2 reasons. One, you've got enough social content for the whole week. So you're creating content once, chopping it up into the parts people will actually do, digestible point by points of value. That's what they're going to watch. They're not going to watch your 30-minute thing. And that's not where the payoff is. Payoff is not the 30-minute thing. The payoff is that people are watching these clips and going, that shit was smart. That person's smart. I want more from that, whatever's doing there. I like that. Okay. And so you chop these up. Guess what I have? Social content for the whole week. Guess what else I've got? I'm not making a media decision for my consumption for my audience. Some people want to read shit. They want to scan through it and they don't have time to listen to my voice, the whole thing. And so they're just reading through and find the nuggets and they're out. And then I got people, they want to see how animated I am and what color my background is today. And so they're going to watch on video. And then I got some people that they're in their car or they're jogging or whatever's doing, and they want to listen to audio. So why make a decision for them? Turn it into all of those pieces of format. You're going, Stefan, I got time for this? What you just told me? I thought you told me you're going to save me time.
Yeah, right.
Well, you can outsource all of that for bupkis. Yeah, you
Bobkiss.
could do your own, bupkis. You could do your own legwork and find the people to do it for bupkis and repeatable and simple with a spreadsheet that says do exactly this. Or you could pay my people. You know, I mean, I've got a thing called easysnippets.io that I'm launching. Didn't come here to promote it, but for people that are looking for the easy button to turn one video into a bunch of other stuff,
I
you
like
can
this. I mean,
you
you've
can get a hold
convinced
of me.
me. Yeah, you've
You can
convinced me. Give me an idea. What is this? What do you call it? Easy snippets. What do you call it?
easysnippets.io, which by the way, if you go there right now, it's probably still just a GoDaddy hanger. So
Right.
bear with me
So it's
while I
coming
get caught
soon.
up. Yeah, man, I'm always laying track in front of a moving locomotive at this point, but
Yeah.
it is here
You
we are.
always have.
We are taking beta clients. So if you get a hold of Frank or you get a hold, I'm not hard to find if you Google me and you get a hold of me and say, hey, I heard about this easy snippets thing. I want to talk to you. I'd be happy to talk to you about that.
I mean, and right. And full disclosure, we did not come on here today to talk about promoting this at all. But while we're here, because you make a lot of sense, it's such a cool idea to be able to just get that video done, get that interview done, and then be able to ship that off to somebody and have it all the stuff created for me. Now I can just get it out there, right? I
And
can
not
just
only
get it
that,
out
they
there.
should outsource that too. So
That gets
ultimately, if you have
outsourced
an
as well.
assistant, correct. If you have an assistant, and let me give a shout out to a tool out there that I use when I'm not using my editing tool, which is Scribe. Go look that up. No affiliate code, not trying to make money off you guys. Just go check them out. It is a tool that you upload your video, create this really nice background. It auto captions for you so you don't have to pay for otter.ai or other service or rev.com, and gives you this social clip capability that I'm talking about. It doesn't do all the other things that we talked about, but it's a great tool. And so for those of you who want to check that out, go check out Scribe. Here's my point, guys. You should outsource everything. Everything that you can outsource in your life. That's the bigger message. But
Right.
in this case of content, you get in front of the camera, you turn it on, you click the record with your guest or by yourself or whatever you're doing, and you immediately get rid of it. Okay, it goes in a Dropbox folder, and either your assistant that you found on Fiverr or Upwork or through Stefan, whatever, and they go to work on making it look pretty. And then the next step is they go to work, or somebody does, on posting
Getting it out
You got to
there.
get out of the admin game and you got to get back to being your own CEO, right?
Dude, you were talking mortgage marketing animals language right now. I mean, we are big believers in everything you just said. We are into outsourcing assistants, doing the stuff that the things we know we need to get done that we're just not going to get done. Right. We might as well have
100%.
somebody else do that. And I'm glad you brought up like Fiverr, Upwork, because I just did a podcast on Fiverr and how amazing Fiverr is. I don't think a lot of people understand what you can get done there or at Upwork and at crazy affordable prices. It's insane.
It doesn't have to be $5. For those of you thinking I'm not paying somebody $5 an hour, you don't have to. There are people, by the way, on there that charge $25,000 for a service I've seen. So it runs the gamut. It's just a marketplace, but it's Fiverr, 2 R's. And Upwork are two places where you can find people to help you. I want to tell you this. You can hire a VA from the Philippines who can do a lot of what your digital marketing repetitive tasks are for $800 a month. Period.
Yeah.
And by the way, that's not taking advantage of them. That's like they're super stoked.
Oh, they're stoked.
To have a full-time job. Yeah.
I've got a gal in the Philippines. She works for me. She gives me 4 hours a day, and she's $10 an hour. And
Fantastic.
so, it's very, very inexpensive, and she's very bright, very versatile. Like, she's made phone calls for me, right, to databases and gotten me business. She does data stuff for me, data entry things for me, and she's just wonderful. And you're right, you can get an assistant very inexpensively. And again, big thing that Marketing Animals emphasizes: let's get these assistants to help us out with a lot of things.
Yeah,
Stefan, this is
doing whatever it takes to gather more friends, right? And you know what that is? That's conversations, right? So the more conversations you're having with people, whether that's via video or whether that's in person at networking events or whatever it may be. So yeah, the more you outsource, the more that you can be collecting and cultivating friends.
I know how fast you are off the cuff. Okay, you're just Stefan is so good at this. So give me something a loan officer should do. Like, who should a loan officer be interviewing? Like, if the loan officer wanted to go down this interview path, give me some thoughts.
This is easy. This is easy, guys. Think about this. The business owners in your area, the people that the Chamber of Commerce is promoting and celebrating, the guy that just opened the new dental practice, the guy that just decided to get rid of the chemicals at his dry cleaner and now it's organic pea soup and whatever's doing, and the kids that just. What I'm saying is, you become become this kind of local reporter and you bring your flavor to it. But here's what I want you to understand. Like, well, nobody gives a shit about the Chinese restaurant that reopened. First of all, they do.
Right.
But in fact, let me make this point for everybody listening, and this will be a really good one to take away. If you are listening to the news or watching the news or reading it on your phone, and it said, blah, blah, blah happened on Earth today, you'd be like, whatever. And then yada yada happened in Europe. I mean, other than World War III, and even now we're like, whatever. And then it says yada yada happened in California, and now Frank's ears are going to perk up because he's like, well, that's my state. Is it on fire or, or what's doing? And then it says like, what town are you in, Frank?
Vacaville.
Right. Then it says, no, in Vacaville today. And now Frank's like, hold on a second, literally stopping somebody going, hold on, let me take a look at this. Now, what neighborhood do you live in, Frank?
Well, what would I say?
Or make one up. We don't want to send
Meadowlands.
people stalkers to you. Yeah, Meadowlands. So then it says now in the Meadowlands neighborhood of Vacaville today. And how close attention are you paying at this point?
Oh, I'm riveted at that point.
Riveted.
Something in Meadowlands. I'm like, what?
You're riveted. Okay. And so the closer that you can get to them from a proximity perspective, not just an emotional perspective, the geographically close you get to them. So you could, by the way, there are so many neighborhood groups that if you join a neighborhood group and just start creating video content for them, that alone will crush it. Like if I said to my neighborhood group, I make a post about the pothole that I know we're all going over, that shit will blow up. That post will blow up. And then I can have a bunch of conversation with a bunch of people that I do or don't know. And some of them will be cultivated into friends of Stefan.
So, and then the point here being having that frequency that you were talking about, the consistency that you're talking
interview
about.
Connectors, interview business owners, interview who the chamber is talking
connectors,
about.
People that know me, right? So, and like you said, I interview the mayor, whatever.
And they themselves can become like, the point is, it's not about the interview. Okay. It's about the connection between you and the interviewee. That's what this is about. If you keep your mind on that, it's not really about the interview. The interview's the interview. That's going to give you content. You're going to post it. People go, oh, the Chinese restaurant changed. That's amazing.
Yeah.
What it was about was that you met the owner of the Chinese restaurant who then said, by the way, I probably need to refinance. We just cost a lot of money.
Right.
I should probably talk to you. And so out of those conversations come opportunities for them to learn more about you and how you can impact their life through loans in a positive way.
Right. No, I get it. It's good stuff, man. It's really, really good stuff. All right. We're going to put Stefan's stuff. If you're listening to us on the Loan Officer Podcast Network, we're going to put Stefan's stuff down below that you can click away to. We'll give his email address, that type of stuff. You can go join his Facebook group. It's Audience Builders. Right?
Yeah, Audience Builders. Look it up.
Audience Builders on Facebook.
I think the link is Audience Builders Live, but if you just put in Audience Builders,
they should show up.
Find me.
Yeah, Audience Builders. Join the Facebook group so you can stay in tune with
join my
Stefan.
group.
And we'll also put in his coming soon. What was snippets?
Email me. Oh, easysnippets.io. If anybody's got interest in figuring out how they can just take one video and turn it into all of this stuff,
a gajillion different things.
We are working with beta clients on that.
Okay, good. So we'll put all that stuff down below. If you're watching it or if you're listening to us on the loanofficerpodcast.com, it's there. It's accessible for you. If you're on iTunes or if you're on Spotify, something like that, listening to us, just get to Loan Officer Podcast Network. You'll find this podcast and you'll find all of Stefan's links there. So good enough, man. That was great, Stefan. I really appreciate you being here, man.
I appreciate you having me. You know that I'm always, happy to get behind a microphone or a camera. For just about any reason.
Yes, you are.
Luckily, you had some good questions because I would have jumped on and talked about just about anything. I have so much free time.
Do yourself
Somebody call me. I need more work.
Do yourself a favor. Connect with Stefan Lubinski. He's one of the just one of the most entertaining, and not just entertaining. Stefan has a way of delivering amazing content in a very entertaining way. And trust me, you will not regret getting connected to Stefan Lubinski. So go join his group.
Gracias, my friend.
Tune into him.
From Austin, Texas. Thanks for having me. To all of you mortgage marketing animals, just show up every day and create and conversate, and you will convert.
Awesome stuff. With that, you guys have a great one. Thanks for joining us today, guys. Don't forget, come visit us every day, Monday through Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Loan Officer Breakfast Club, a live free coaching Zoom call. Just go to loanofficerbreakfastclub.com or search us on Facebook. You'll find us live, free, 30 minutes, loan officer coaching. You can't beat it. Every Monday through Thursday. It's absolutely amazing. We hope to see you there. And with that, we'll be back here next week on the Mortgage Loan Officer Podcast. We'll catch you later. Adios. Thanks, Stefan.
Thank you.